Now, if you clicked on this video, you're probably a fan of the CW, or maybe you're not a fan of the CW and everything that they've done in the past. They've done some really cool shows in the past. Angel was good. Supernatural, I watched that religiously, and Smallville. But when they got a hold of Green Arrow, they created something called the Arrowverse, and that's where things kind of went down the hill. It was quite the decline. It's as if DC stood for dookie crap and CW stood for crap watching. And now with The Flash having received the final Flash being done and over with and the cancellation of Gotham Knights, the CW is pretty much done and over with, buried in the ground. Now they also cut the amount of episodes we'll be receiving of Superman and Lois, the last remnant of a time from the before times. But how did the CW get to this particular point where no one cares about its superhero programming surrounding the DC universe? Like, I really want to start with its current mistake, and that was with Gotham Knights. Now, that show featured a smorgasbord of DC D and C-list characters who, if Batman were still alive in this particular series, would be embarrassed to call them Gotham Knights. But not only would Batman be embarrassed, other departments of parent company WB were pretty embarrassed. Like, WB Games released a tweet, this tweet here, on its Gotham Knights video game Twitter handle 3 days after the first trailer of the series release, distancing the game from the CW show after the majority of the internet denizens ridicule the 3-minute-long trailer. What precludes them from doing so? Absolutely nothing. And now with CW series, that particular CW series canceled, joining all of the other Gotham-related shows like Batwoman and Birds of Prey in the pile of DC adaptation trash can, the question I beg the executives over at CW, I know y'all gonna see this, to answer me this. Riddle me this, Batman people. Why do y'all keep making Batman shows without the key ingredient? Batman. Like, what we got in Gotham Knights, I personally wouldn't consider Gotham Knights. More like Gotham Pawns. They were pawned if we're playing chess here. I'm sure the majority of fans out there might agree, and this is coming from a place of love. Right here, this is where my heart is, the place of love. I've been a big fan of some of the DC CW shows in the past. Now, none of this criticism is intended to, throw shade on the cast and crew. This is just the hand, I guess, the CW has been dealt by Warner Brothers. Like, for many years, the CW has been fighting to get Batman property interwoven into its now defunct Arrowverse. But with Batman being WB's hottest DC commodity, the company's been very careful with what it's willing to relinquish to the network television. The CW really wants to play within the Gotham City limits, but with the network's loose adaptations of long-running DC comics, WB is seemingly always putting up the stop sign. There's a stop sign right there. It all started with 2002's Birds of Prey, which was canceled after 13 episodes. Now, it starred Batman's daughter, who teamed up with her two friends to take on the villains of Gotham while Batman was he was missing. He just walked away for some strange reason. Now, although the series had a strong debut with one of the network's largest premieres at the time, the ratings would progressively go downhill week after week, which might be an indication that the series wasn't finding an audience and presumably led to the network canceling the show after one season. Now, the series had the foresight to set the show in Tim Burton's Batman universe, but only took half measures, which is weird. You're just gonna go halfway? That's just dumb. And the ratings would have most assuredly been off the charts had they actually just got both Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer to reprise their roles on the series instead of just using recycled footage from the films to tease the connection there. It's kind of dumb. You're just recycling footage. Anyways, fast forward almost 20 years and the CW decided to flip the two-faced coin again with 2019's Batwoman, which saw Bruce Wayne / Batman apparently go missing yet again for the last 3 years with no explanation given as to why he was simply just gone. I just disappear. Why are you disappearing, Bruce? Now, he is a playboy, so I don't know, maybe, he was off on a Learjet, headed over to hook up with Talia al Ghul in the Lazarus pits. Who knows? I don't know what Bruce Wayne does. He's like the Drake of the DC universe. He makes hits, and then he just leaves. Now, the series managed to last for 3 seasons without Batman, and 2 of those seasons without the titular Batwoman, who's also Bruce Wayne's cousin, Kate Kane. The actress Ruby Rose, who played Kate Kane, left after the first season and was replaced by Javicia Leslie, who plays Ryan Wilder, a new character who has absolutely no ties whatsoever to Bruce Wayne and didn't even exist in the DC Comics universe until Batgirl Volume 5, Issue 50, which came out just a month before she was set to make her live-action debut in the CW Batwoman series. Now, this show was honestly lucky enough to just skate by without Batman for 3 seasons, let alone its main Batwoman, who also suddenly went missing. I don't understand what the DC is doing. What the series is just dumb. Now, what they should have done instead of, making up a new character is, simply replace Ruby Rose with another actor to portray Kate Kane. It worked for Marvel when the company replaced Terrence Howard with Don Cheadle in the role of War Machine. I know it's Marvel, but you know what? DC, you really should take note of what your competitors are doing. You only got one in Marvel. That's not to say that it would have saved the show from its eventual cancellation, but when Marvel fans think of War Machine, they think of Don Cheadle, so it's completely possible for a replacement actor to become the one fans ultimately remember. Terrence Howard, who? Was that the guy that was the pimp in that movie Hustle and Flow? Yeah, he was the pimp man. Nobody remembers him as the War Machine man, the Black Iron Man. He was the pimp man. Anyways, Batwoman's ratings would see a dip season after season, episode after episode, until the CW decided to put the series down once and for all. Now, its strongest season was season 1, according to the Broadcast Official Nationals program ratings chart. What made the first season of Batwoman appealing from a fan's perspective is the Batman family connection. Now, once you take out the family ties to Bruce Wayne and introduce someone who never personally knew him, the overall focus of the show is lost and it becomes something that connects with the source material on name only. Now, both Birds of Prey and Batwoman suffered from a significant lack of Batman since he was just missing in both shows. And with the now canceled Gotham Knights series, he's just dead. They killed my mans. So there's no chance of the Dark Knight returning to Gotham on the show. He went from being missing to now just pushing up daisies, presumably planted by Poison Ivy. Likely not, but, that's my own personal headcanon. I wish Poison Ivy was in the damn show. Batman Battle for the Cowl was a 2009 limited comic series that detailed the dissension in the ranks of Batman's allies who fought to take up the mantle of the new Batman after his apparent death at the hands of Darkseid in the Final Crisis storyline. Now, this story involved Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, pretty much the entire Batman family. Now, the limited series took readers through a journey to reestablish order and stability in Gotham while various members of Bruce's superhero family took on the mantle of Batman in his absence. Now, this held significant weight throughout each issue as every single character associated with Bruce has had a different experience under the tutelage of Batman. Now, what was missing with the CW Gotham Knights series was the connection to both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like, the character portraying Bruce's adopted son in the CW series was made up just for the show, so we don't know the backstory of the character yet. And every other character aside from Carrie Kelly is the child of a prominent Gotham villain. Now, with pre-established and well-known characters missing from the roster, the CW doomed this series to fail upon the inception of the show. Now, the new owners of the CW, Nexstar Media, knew the CW was really just gunking up the works with every single DC-related show, so it's cleaning up house at the moment. Yeah, they're just taking like a fire hose and they're like, get the hell out of here, Flash, you're gone. Batwoman, you're gone. Yep, you're all gone. The Gotham Knights, who the hell are you? You're gone. Now, I gotta say this, it's a shame for the CW shows, but where those might fail to capture the curiosity of viewers, the HBO Max, now known as Max shows, tend to do a good job, even with just a smidge of the Caped Crusader sauce. Now, Batman, or at least Bruce Wayne, has appeared in a handful of episodes of Titans, along with Gotham's actual Knights, Robin, the Red Hood, and even Barbara Gordon and Tim Drake. In seasons 1 and 2 of Titans, we see the relationship Bruce has with his adopted sons, Jason Todd and Dick Grayson, play out, showing us the impact he's had in their development as both human beings and superheroes. Now, while Bruce has only appeared in a handful of episodes of Titans, each time he shows up, we're given a glimpse into how his past traumas have affected the development of both Jason and Dick differently. Now, Bruce's actions and lack of parental nurturing made them the individuals they are, and seeing him portrayed as an absentee father is much more impactful than simply saying, he gone, missing, and not including him on screen whatsoever. Now, this is why it's important to have Bruce/Batman involved in some capacity. Batwoman would have benefited from us seeing interactions between Kate Kane and her cousin. And we should have seen interactions between Bruce and his daughter in Birds of Prey in order to see their family dynamic play out on screen, for us to witness how he's impacted her personality. And Warner Brothers clearly has a lot more faith in its HBO Max now, Max shows, visibly putting more efforts and a seemingly larger budget behind DC properties that land on the streaming service. Now, Max is also not beholden to the restrictions and censorship of broadcast television, so they can get away with a whole hell of a lot more. Which is likely why we'll be seeing spin-off shows of the Batman based in the Matt Reeves universe coming to HBO Max, now Max. The shows based on Colin Farrell's Penguin and Arkham Asylum series. There's going to be an Arkham Asylum series which may or may not contain Batman are currently in development. Even if those shows only had glimpses of the Dark Knight, the fact that Reeves is attached to each and the ties each have to the movie is enough to grab most fans' attention once the shows drop. I'm already interested, and I don't even care if Robert Pattinson's Batman is in it or not. I'm talking a ton about CW's lack of Batman, but what's up with the CW double standard that exists with his other Justice League co-captain, Superman? Let's not ignore the fact that there's currently a Superman CW show which has the key element you need in making a show related to Superman. They got Superman, yes. Even tangentially related shows like Supergirl featured Superman when he made his first appearance in the pilot episode back in 2015, and then later portrayed by Tyler Hoechlin in season 2 of Supergirl. Now, it's rather odd that Batman isn't granted similar liberties by the forces that be on the CW. Like Hoechlin's appearance on the small screen, both on Supergirl and the Arrowverse crossover events, is what led to the CW Superman and Lois series being greenlit in the first place. Now, it's hard to believe that Batman wouldn't have gotten similar treatment if the CW had been given a chance. Give my Batman the chance. Now, Batman's absence on the CW shows isn't an isolated occurrence either. No. On Fox's Gotham series, young Bruce didn't don the cape and cowl until the final moments of the entire series. The same goes for Smallville, where Clark finally wore the supersuit after 10 long seasons of running around very fast in a blue windbreaker. My man was just wearing a windbreaker. Now, stupid. Now, where Smallville suffered from a complete lack of Superman, the CW has made up for it with Superman and Lois. Those are obviously different times, and as times change, networks must too. But the CW's approach to Batman has, for some strange reason, remained the same. We're not gonna include him unless he's missing or he's dead. Why? Now, CW has also done the whole Batman is missing trope already with Batwoman and Birds of Prey, so we technically know what a Gotham City without Batman looks like on the CW. So how could Gotham Knights have expected to succeed without Batman when there's a history of failed shows on the CW that have gone a similar route? Like, one of the keys, I think, to capturing the Batman fandom is by, I don't know, featuring recognizable characters from the comics associated in the shows. How about we do that? We know Harvey Dent is part of the series, who many will recognize from Batman's Rogues Gallery as Two-Face. Misha Collins even did some practical makeup for the Two-Face character, which we probably would have seen a lot more of in season 2, but don't nobody want a season 2 of this trash fire. Now, Batwoman and Birds of Prey have done similar things, dipping into Batman's Rogues Gallery to bolster up the name recognition of DC characters on screen. Having Harley Quinn, appear in Birds of Prey was a nice touch, but a far cry from the depiction reminiscent to that in the Batman animated series or modern day depictions on the big screen done by Margot Robbie. And Batwoman would just subvert the iconic villains we've come to know through Batman making bargain bin knockoff versions of them instead. You know what we got? Instead of the Killer Croc, we got some freaking kid named Steven who was turned into a new incarnation of Killer Croc by being exposed to the Killer Croc's tooth. I didn't know it worked that way. Now, instead of Poison Ivy, we got some woman named Mary who was infected by one of Poison Ivy's vines, thus becoming Poison Mary. Yeah, you're infected by an iconic super. This is so stupid and weird. I hate it so much. I understand writers taking liberties with the source material, but Batwoman just came off as fan fiction with a sizable budget thrown at it. Now, why make up new characters when the actual characters exist? They exist for you. Or does the same clause stopping the CW from using Batman also apply to most Gotham villains as well? Makes you ponder. I wish I were a detective, because I'm going to figure this out before the end of this video. The actual Gotham Knights in the series aren't those that fans might recognize from the comics, and this is where I feel there's a disconnection. There's a disconnect. Turner Hayes, Carrie Kelly, Harper Row, Cullen Rowe, Duella Dent, and Stephanie Brown are the DC characters that appear in the CW series Gotham Knights. Do any of those names sound familiar? Maybe, if you into some deep cuts, but to me, no. I'm gonna be blunt with y'all. Those are some deep cut DC characters, with Carrie Kelly being the most recognizable of them, as she was Batman's female Robin in Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. Now compare that to the Gotham Knights depicted in the comics, or even in the video game of the same name. Now, it may surprise some to see the CW not go the obvious route of leaning on the popularity of the game, but bear in mind that there's likely politics behind the scenes that could be blocking the use of Batman's actual former sidekicks. And some of them are already on HBO Max's Titans. Although it's not as if, having multiple superheroes on TV and film has stopped WB in the past, we've had Morbin Time himself, Jared Leto, appear as the Joker in 2016's Suicide Squad and 2021's Justice League Snyder Cut. And in the middle of that, Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar. He won an Oscar for his portrayal of the Clown Prince of Crime in 2019's Joker. And both Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson are Batman. Ben Affleck in the Flash movie with Michael Keaton reprising his role as, you guessed it, Batman. Makes you want to laugh, all of this. Anyways, these are just a few examples, plus both the DCU and the MCU are now playing within their respective multiverses. So there's no reason to not have Batman pop up on the small screen in full cape and cowl, as well as the other members of the Bat family. You can have more than one Dick Grayson. You know how many dicks I have? One. But you never know. Maybe the writers of the CW shows are just trying, their very best to, give fans a show that can hold up without standing on the shadows or in the shadows of the Dark Knight. Now, the CW's Gotham Knights series was also written by the individuals who brought us Batwoman. Yeah, they brought us Batwoman, which is slightly concerning to me. I was really concerned when I found that out. Online sentiment amongst fans for the Gotham Knights TV series has been rather negative. Yeah, even the Gotham Knights video game Twitter handle tweeting out this message to remind fans that the game is in no way related to the show. As if that was going to stop that game from flopping. It was straight bat trash. It was bat trash. Or as I like to call it, it was bash.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no.
So now, moving forward, what chance does the CW have in capturing the attention of Batman fans without Batman or his immediate Bat family to carry on the torch in his absence? Like, what can they do to keep DC fans interested? Honestly, it feels like the CW side of DC at this point is a bit of an afterthought to Warner Brothers. Fault doesn't solely fall on the CW's lap, though. It's up to WB to give the network rights to use the more notable DC characters from the Batman universe and the overall DC universe. It's as if, as long as, whatever attempts to capture DC fans gets made on the network side of things doesn't interfere with the company's big budget movies and streaming shows, they're seemingly allowed to go wild with their made up stories that'll inevitably go nowhere. And while this strategy may have paid off in the earlier years of DC CW, fans are really starting to get fed up with everything that's happening on the CW nowadays. I mean, that's why the DC CW reign is practically over. It is done. The Arrowverse is no more, except for Superman and Lois, that series. But even that is probably on its last legs, as they just truncated the 4th season and limited some of the main cast's roles to just featured bits. It's not looking good on the DCU CW universe over there. That universe is looking kind of grim. Ooh. So I guess it's safe to say the CW is, in my opinion, a lost network trying to regain some relevancy by trying to adapt properties into live action that no one asked for. Like that live action Powerpuff Girls series was still in the works after the initial reveal frustrated fans, and Chloe Bennett, the actress who was attached to star as Blossom, exited the show. Now they've officially canceled that stinker Rooney because, who the hell wants to see a freaking live action rendition of the Powerpuff Girls if you're not going to make them look exactly like they looked in the damn cartoon? Anyways, Batwoman was canceled. Legends of Tomorrow was canceled. Katie Keene was also canceled. Remember that show? Katie Keene, that was canceled. Naomi was canceled. Yes, this is just a small list of canceled shows. And I actually won a bet. I just remembered I won a bet on Bat Bucks that Gotham Knights wouldn't see it past its first season, and I was right. And my buddy Bernard he hasn't paid me. I don't think he's not gonna pay me. It was Bat Bucks. I should have said human beings, real life cash, not Bat Bucks. I'm stupid. Anyways, I love seeing creatives employed and putting their own ideas out there and seeing the cast and crew all working hard to just make something, despite it looking and feeling totally different than the established comics and video game of the same name. For fans of the DC comics, movies, and games, these CW shows, they really deserve better. We deserve to see better on television. So I'm kind of curious. I really want to know, what do you think of the Gotham Knights show? How do you feel about the general depiction or direction DC's output has been on the CW? Do you think it's been good? Do you think it's been bad? Do you think it's just been sad? Because it's really been sad. I've been watching the CW go downhill for a very long time, and it really makes me sad to see that. To the point where I don't know what to say anymore. I've tried to defend the CW, but it's become straight up trash watching these days, and it's really sad to see a network go out the way that it's been going out, trying to give us superhero shows and just not doing a good job. Do better. Give us Static Shock. How about that? Give us some original stuff. And stop making up nonsense. Batwoman? What the hell is a Batwoman? What are you doing? That Batgirl movie should have been a television series, and it should have been true to the damn comics. How about that? Make good content. Hire good writers, guys. Stop trying to deviate so far from everything else. It's a good thing that James Gunn is there now because he's going and Peter Safran. They're going to change things around, hopefully. I don't know if they're going to touch the CW, though. They're probably going to stay far away from that and just let Next Star Media take care of that. Clean house. Let's not worry about any more DC shows on network television or on cable television or anything other like. Let's just focus on HBO Max, now Max, which is probably what's going to happen. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the CW coming to an end, ending everything that it's been doing with the DCU. I'd love to know what you think about this. Am I out of pocket? Do I have any pockets? I actually don't have any pockets, but am I out of pocket? Y'all let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, please subscribe for more. I do this every single week. At least I try to put this out every single week. Who knows? Anyways, shout out to all the members here. It's because of you guys that I am able to make videos like this. So thank you all so much. And if you want to become a member yourself, well, you know how to do it. You've done it before, or you probably thought about doing it before. Do it now. Do it here. And do it loud and do it proud. All right. Well, that's it for me. I'm hot. Get that off my hand. I am extremely hot right now. I couldn't find my other glove. That's why I wore a freaking puppet. I don't even know if you all could see it. Anyways, I gotta go. Smoke bomb. I'm like Batman. That was like Batman, right? That was sick. I just did a smoke bomb. Let's do it again. Hey, look at my little monster boy here. I don't think anyone's gonna be able to see me because I'm green, like the green screen you're using. That's right, I am using the green screen. Well, shut up. We're talking about the CW here, not you.